Kizamde! Hop on the beat!
Earlier this month, JoJolion finally reached its conclusion. Along with the bittersweet feeling of seeing the story end, we can now finally move on to some real JoJolion-focused videos. I have previously made a video covering every reference to Araki's previous manga in JoJo. Next, I made a video about every reference to the original universe seen in Steel Ball Run. Now it's time for JoJolion to get the same treatment. I'm definitely glad I waited, since even in the final chapter, new relevant callbacks popped up. The first point is obviously the setting of the part. Part 8 takes place in the town of Morioh, just like Part 4 did in the original universe. While Part 8's Morioh is definitely unique, there are still a large amount of callbacks. The emblem of the town is still very similar. The town's specialty food is still beef tongue pickled in miso, the town is still a vacation spot, and there are still many landmarks shared between the two, but I'll get to those later. The protagonist of the part is given the name Josuke Higashikata, the same as the protagonist from Part 4. The secondary character in the story is Yasuho Hirose, whose last name is shared with Koichi Hirose from Part 4. In Chapter 2, Josuke and Yasuho investigate a hat store, where the hat of Jotaro Kujo can be seen in the background. One part of Josuke's identity is revealed to be Yoshikage Kira, a name shared with the main antagonist of Part 4. The Kira of this universe shares some similarities with the original. Both have a fascination with hands, as seen by the hand statues in Kira's apartment. The Mona Lisa can be seen on the wall, which the original Kira was known to be obsessed with. It is also shown that both Kiras have a fingernail collection. The Higashikata family plays a large role in the story, although most of the characters are completely unique with no clear parallel to the old continuity. However, the patriarch of the family, Norisuke IV, was originally named Josuke as a child. Much like the original Josuke, his mother was named Tomoko. The family's maid goes by the name Kei Nijimura. This is a reference to the Nijimura brothers from Part 4. Something English-speaking readers often miss is the pun shared between these characters. The Oku in Okuyasu's name means 100 million. The Cho in Keicho's name means 1 trillion. And the K in Kei's name means 10 quadrillion. Kei is later revealed to be the daughter of Holly Kujo and the sister of Yoshikage Kira. Much like the child of Holly in the previous universe, Kei's design is very similar to that of Jotaro. Daya Higashikata's stand has a property where the ability is undone by making her step on your shadow. This is like a reversal of Alessi's ability in Part 3, which activated when you stepped on his shadow. Chapter 11 shows the Higashikata and Joestar family trees from the last 100 years. There are many similarities to the original Joestar family. Much like in the original universe, Jonathan or Johnny Joestar marries a woman named Erina, or in this case, Rina. Their child is named George, who marries a woman named Elizabeth. Their child is Joseph, who marries Susie Q, and their child is Holly. The main difference comes from the fact that Holly marries into the Kira family. Although notably, Yoshikage Kira's father here does not share a name with the original universe version. Another difference is the large amount of siblings seen in the family. While in the original universe, each generation usually only had one child. The character Holly is quite important to the story. Like in Part 3, one of the main focuses of the story is to cure her illness. One of the landmarks in Morioh is the Mutsukabe Shrine. This is a reference to Mutsukabe Hill, a location seen in a chapter of Thus Spoke Shibe Rohan, which takes place in the original universe. In Chapter 12, a man can be seen drawing with chalk on the sidewalk. This is clearly a picture of Crazy Diamond, the protagonist's stand from Part 4. Also seen here is the Osen store, one of the more well-known locations of Part 4's Morioh. The Yoshikage Kira of Part 8 is also shown to possess the stand Killer Queen, although his ability differs from the original. Instead of turning objects into bombs, it now creates exploding bubbles. He is also shown to have sheer heart attack, but unlike the original, he can summon many at once and also change their size. In the Shakedown Road arc, Josuke accidentally breaks a little girl's compact mirror. The design inside the mirror is similar to the red stone of Aja seen in Part 2. On one of the pine trees seen in Chapter 22, there are multiple carvings. One of the carvings says Kishibe, a reference to the Part 4 character Rohan. Another one says Arnold, a name shared with Raimi's dog Arnold from Part 4. The stand of Carrera Sakunami is named Love Love Deluxe, a reference to Yukiko's stand from Part 4, Love Deluxe. The other half of Josuke's identity is Josefumi Kujo, who has a variety of callbacks. His first name is known to be derived from the name Joseph, like Joseph Joestar from Part 2. His last name is shared with Jotaro Kujo from Part 3. His hair is reminiscent of Josuke's hair from Part 4, and his outfit is similar to one that Josuke has been seen wearing in various illustrations. Josefumi's parents are named Sadafumi and Kiyomi Kujo. Sadafumi's name is similar to Sadao Kujo, Jotaro's father from Part 3. Notably, both fathers are absent in some way. Kiyomi's name shares a kanji with the original Holly's Japanese name, which was Seiko. This is somewhat of a backwards callback, but the Seiten Birdies baseball team that originates from JoJolion was later referenced in multiple chapters of Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan, retroactively making it present in the original universe. The Seiten Birdies pitcher, known as Akun, is also mentioned. The eye medicine that Aisho buys from the pharmacy is called Ai Xia. This is a reference to Whole Horse's catchphrase from Part 3, Ai Sir. The prison that Kato is released from is called Stone Ocean Prison, a reference to the title of Part 6. The boy who delivers Dolomite's tooth to Josuke bears somewhat of a resemblance to Morioh from Part 6, although instead of a Cubs uniform, he is wearing the uniform of the fictional Seiten Birdies. Mamazuku's home on top of the ski lift is similar to the character Toyahiro's home in the transmission tower from Part 4. Mamazuku's ability is to unravel himself into ribbons. This is pretty similar to the stand Stone Free from Part 6, which let Jolene unravel into strings. During the flashback in Chapter 72, Jobin mentions the Trussardi Italian restaurant. This is a clear reference to Tonio's restaurant from Part 4. In Chapter 99, the biology of rock humans is explained. The narration says that female rock humans look identical to normal human women. Among the human women in the background are pictures of Enya and Hermes from Parts 3 and 6. Later, the stone mask and stand arrow are shown, to indicate the blessings from the earth being the equivalent supernatural phenomenon in the new universe. The stone mask is also featured on the chapter cover for the final chapter, the final JoJolion Ultra Jump cover, and the final JoJolion volume cover. Towards the end of the story, there is a flashback centered around Lucy Steele from Part 7, as well as a new character, Fumi. The two investigate near the Morioh hunting grounds, which is said to be a place where people poach abalone. This is clearly a reference to the Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan story Poaching Seashore, where Rohan and Tonio went to a similar location in their version of Morioh. In the final chapter, Fumi is revealed to be this universe's version of Joseph Joestar. He shares various similarities with the original. His introduction is based on a pickpocketing. In Joseph's first appearance in Part 2, he got his wallet stolen by Smokey. In Part 8, Joseph stops a man from stealing Lucy's luggage. Joseph being paired with Lucy is also reminiscent of Joseph and his grandmother Erina from Part 2. Remember, Lucy Steele's maiden name was Pendleton. He is also shown to have a stand similar to Hermit Purple, although this version possesses a humanoid form, or at least a head. He is also shown with Joseph's clackers for a brief moment. Later in life, he becomes an American citizen, much like the original Joseph did. The Speedwagon Foundation plays a role in the background of Part 8. In the original universe, the Speedwagon Foundation was created by the character Speedwagon after he became rich from oil in America. In Steel Ball Run, the Speedwagon Oil Company already existed in the beginning of the story. In Part 8, it is shown that they eventually took on a role similar to the original version, with Lucy Steele becoming a member. Not much is known about the Speedwagon Foundation here, but it seems that they have the same goal of monitoring supernatural phenomenon, as seen with Lucy recovering the corpse from Johnny and investigating the walleyes in Morioh. This universe's Suzy Q is also a member of the Speedwagon Foundation, which is how she meets Joseph. If the events of the previous universe are anything to go on, I expect the Speedwagon Foundation to play a role in the next part of the series. And that was every callback to the original universe found in JoJolion. While Part 8 still had a large number of references, I feel like it didn't focus on them nearly as much as Part 7 did. Much of the story is very unique, and a large portion of it had no new callbacks at all. Part 9 has recently been announced with the title JoJolion, so I wonder what kind of parallels we might see there. With Part 8's completion, I now look forward to covering various topics from it. If there's a specific topic from the story you'd like to see a big video on, comment it down below. If you want to be updated on new videos or leave suggestions, join the Haman Beat Discord using the link in the description. To receive rewards like Discord perks and some uncut videos, you can support the channel on Patreon. And finally, for future videos, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. This is the part of the video where I thank my $5 and up patrons. Thank you to Tony, the Owl God, Alex Ramirez, Raziana, Anasui Hat, Doorbell, Cloudy, Monkman, Ashton Joseph Miller, Crayon, Jesper Jansen, Austin Nino, Rigo Vids, Zucato, Shane Giger, Walter White, Whiskey, Taylor Choi, Pumpkin Doge, Marrow, Gift G Stans, Bailey Smile, and Stephen Pennington.